Good afternoon, students. In the last two periods, we got information about the material sources and the written sources. How these two types of sources are very important for understanding the history. Today, we are going to learn the third type of sources, that is oral sources. First question in your mind, that what is meant by oral sources? Answer of this question is the sources available in a oral form is known as oral sources. We understood various aspects of the folk literature traditionally passed on the form generation to the generation. Means, I think every one of you listen the story, poem or from your parent or grandparent. This is a oral source. Oral source means the information got by the person or parents, grandparents to us in a oral form, in the form of poem, povada, shloka, abhangas, etc. Now we will learn some oral sources one by one. See this figure carefully. Here some different types of oral sources are shown you in this figure. We will learn one by one these sources. The first important oral source is mythas. Mythas means the traditional stories related to the supernatural powers. What is meant by supernatural powers? The person or the ghost have some powers that they can do anything. Every one of you listen the stories of the ghost. You like it also. It is nothing but the type of oral source. Means the stories related to the supernatural powers are known as mythas. Second oral important oral source is folk songs. Many times you've seen that your grandmother is singing a song. Yes, that song is not in a written form. Orally your grandmother know that song. How she know that song? She listened that song from her grandparents and she keep in her mind, and now she is singing that song. Means there is a no written form of that poem, but orally, generation by generation, that songs know to the next one. It is known as the folk songs. Third important oral source is Gatha. Sant Tukaram's Gatha is very famous. Gatha means praise to the God in a poetic form. Sant Tukaram wrote some poems regarded to the God, and it is known as Gatha. The next important oral source is Shlokas. Swami Ramdasa's Shlokas are very famous. In a daily life of us, we sing it. The next important oral source is Abhangas. Many santas in Maharashtra as well as in India preach their Abhangas, Shlokas, Ovids to the people to give the information about the God. So this is also in a oral form. Santa Tukaram, Santa Jnaneshwars, their Abhangas and Ovids are very famous. The next important oral source is Povada. Do you listen this word before? Yes? Where you listen this word? Exactly correct. You listen this word regarding to the Povada of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Means here in Maharashtra, the poetic form Povada is very famous, and many Povadas of the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj you listen. What is meant by Povada? Povada is a one type of poem, but this poem used to inspire the people. In that poem, particularly one event given to you, and they explain that event. From that event, we will get some inspiration. That's why this Povada also one of the important oral source. Who sing that Povada is known as Shahir. Means Shahir gives us that Povada. The next important oral source is Proverbs. Proverbs means the story said by oral. Orally any stories, we know that stories are known as the proverbs. Next important oral source is legends. Legends means the some popular stories said by the grandparents, but these stories are not authentic or not 100% true. These stories are not real or authentic. That stories are known as the legends. Means that stories, we get some information from that story, but that is not 100% true. We get information from the oral sources, but this information is not 100% true or authentic. That's why to understand the history, we give more importance to the material sources and the written sources. Whatever the oral sources are there, that oral sources we convert now in a written form. We can see that our history textbook and the history of your parents or the grandparents are differ from each other. There is some certain difference in the history. Due to this, we given more importance towards the written sources. Means the oral sources gives us some information, but that information is not 100% true or reliable. That's why oral sources are known as non reliable sources. Today we learn the oral sources. In that, mythas, folk songs, gathas, legends, shlokas, abhangas, ovis, povadas, proverbs, as well as the stories we learn. In tomorrow's period, we learn how to evaluate the sources of history. Thank you.